Hello and welcome to another edition of The Week That Was, a weekly program where we catch up with the headlines of the past week. This week we are looking at the week from 25th to 31st January. During this week, the dominant story was about the games being played over Mhadei and the confinement of a French actress Marianne Chicherio and other headlines. To discuss these and other headlines, I have with me the group editor of Herald publication, Mr. Sujay Gupta. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, we take up the Mhadei issue on 25th January and we take it in two parts. So, the first part basically refers to the statement which was made by Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai, and then there was a reaction from those who are fighting this Mhadei battle. And this headline says, Bommai's bravado on Mhadei diversion can be blocked only through the green and the legal route, say Goa's Mhadei gurus. Now, he was responding, the Chief Minister of Karnataka was responding to a resolution which was passed in the Goa Assembly, and he said it will have no impact and that Karnataka will float tenders once it receives environmental clearances from MOEF New Delhi.
See, Dr. Freddy, what is very evident here is that Karnataka is doing a lot of muscle flexing with the official nod and support of the central government. This is something that is being openly voiced not only by the opposition, but the very fact that there are people in the opposition, and the general feeling of conviction that Goa has been betrayed is all too palpable and visible to be thought of as otherwise.
Yeah.
On every issue there is there is no black and white, but there are greys.
Yeah.
In this particular issue, as far as Goa is concerned, there is no grey area.
Yeah.
It's a black and white reality of what Karnataka is doing and how Goa has been betrayed.
Yeah.
Now, coming to the facts of the case, Karnataka has managed to get their detailed project report, that is what DPR is,
Yeah.
for the construction of the canals in Khalsa and Bandura,
Yeah.
purportedly for drinking water purposes, but Goa has very strongly said that that is not for drinking water purposes, that is for an irrigation purpose. However, this part can be debatable. There are greys here. Where there is no grey and there are black and whites, is that you cannot at any point of time, Firstly, I'll say this and then come to the other point which I just started mentioning.
Yeah.
Firstly, is that the direct DPR very specifically looks at tapping waters from the tributaries on the Karnataka side, as well as, and this is important, from the Surla tributary of the Mhadei.
Yeah.
The Interstates Water Dispute Tribunal had not allowed the diversion of water from Surla at all, but from the other three tributaries which they are claiming.
Yeah.
Both on a technical, legal and ethical ground, the diversion of water from Surla, or including the diversion from Surla as part of Karnataka's DPR, is not valid.
Yeah.
The shocking part is, which a lot of people are saying, including activists and others and people and legal experts, is Goa should have gone to court immediately on this count alone, that there is a violation of the tribunal order. Because how can you have a DPR which itself prima facie violates a key condition of the Water Disputes Tribunal, which specified the tributaries from where you could take the water out?
Yeah.
That's point one.
Yeah.
Point number two, Section 29 of the Wildlife Protection Act specifically says that you cannot indulge in any activity that firstly tampers with the wildlife inside a wildlife resort.
Yeah.
Secondly, you cannot divert any water diversion from the wildlife sanctuary outside the wildlife sanctuary, provided, and you can't do it, the only way you can actually do it is if a permission is given by the chief wildlife warden after he satisfies himself that this kind of diversion is going to be beneficial for the wildlife.
Yeah.
So it is as good as saying that you cannot divert.
Yeah.
And in this case, there is no permission even sought or received.
Yeah.
Under Section 29 of the Wildlife Protection Act, where the Chief Wildlife Warden has allowed this diversion to happen.
Yeah.
which is very clear. So on both counts, both on the issue of the DPR diverting water from a river not given to you under the tribunal, which is Surla River.
Yeah.
Secondly, you are violating section 29 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, where you cannot divert any water from a wildlife sanctuary, and the area from where the water is being diverted, it is a notified wildlife sanctuary. It is not a notified tiger reserve, it's a notified wildlife sanctuary.
Yeah.
And wildlife sanctuary comes under section 29 of the Wildlife Protection Act. So what has happened here is completely, as we have said, it's bravado based on the confidence that the political dispensation will support you in this wrongdoing.
So basically the challenge, Herald has said, the challenge has to be green and legal.
Yes.
It's not political. So which brings us to the next story.
Yes.
That is dated 29 January, Sunday, where Herald has put this headline, Goa hear this, Amit Shah says Goa government was part of the decision to divert Mhadei water to Karnataka. And then we have, on 31st January, another headline where there appears to be a dissension or disagreement within the cabinet over the statements made by the Union Home Minister.
Correct.
And the headline reads, BJP Mastermind Machinery fuels likely organized confusion on Mhadei with a babble of contradictory ministerial remarks.
Correct. Yes. There was one specific reason why we went with this kind of a tone in the headline. Because what happens is, on the face of it, a lot of people have said a particular minister has condemned Amit Shah's remark, a BJP minister.
Yeah.
The Water Resources Minister himself has condemned it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are, are glad that somebody is shown the spine to condemn it and so on and so forth. Yeah. At the same time, you have other ministers who are being circumspect.
Yeah.
They are even gone to the extent of saying, I have not heard Amit Shah's remark.
Yeah.
See, for instance, Alice Sequeira gave a statement, who recently defected from the Congress to the BJP, to the extent of saying that I have not heard Amit Shah's remark. Now, my point is, as an elected legislature in the House, when such an issue is burning, and it is there in all the newspapers, including Herald, which goes to their homes, and of course they are always consuming social media. The fact that an MLA has not heard Amit Shah's remarks or read about it cannot even have an iota of truth as far as this is concerned. Number one, many ministers have kind of sidestepped the issue. The Forest Minister himself, Vishwajit Rane, he essentially said the ball is in the CM's court and he is my leader.
Yeah.
So what is very clear is that there is this whole, that's why I use the word it's actually a babel of tongues. Various people are speaking in different languages, and to decipher it is going to be difficult. There's a whole lot of confusion in this, and I think we need to very, very specifically see it for what it is. This confusion will go on. Ultimately, the final decision is not going to be taken by Goa. It's going to be taken by the courts, but somebody has to go to the courts.
So the legal route is the only way out. That's the only hope.
That's the only way out. There is absolutely no other way out, and has to be fought legally.
Yeah. Our second story of the week, dated January 25th on the Herald, also has a linkage to Mhadei, and this is the outrage over government's move to stall Rajdeep Naik's drama on national education policy. And his dramas were put on hold, which were to be staged all across Goa, just for the fact that he had drummed up support for Goa's Mhadei cause.
Yes, Rajdeep Naik was engaged by the government to do shows on the national education policy in his own inimitable style, where he would go and talk about the policy in his own own funny way, but spread the message of the policy. He had conducted one show out of the 35. He was supposed to do a little more. No, not 35. Sorry, he was supposed to go to all the talukas. Every taluka, but I don't quite know exactly how many shows he had. But he had to go to every taluka. What we do know is that he was engaged for roughly around 35,000 rupees per show for outdoors, and for indoors it was a little more because he had to around that time. And of course, this would obviously give him a proper, good amount of money for his professional work that he put. Immediately after he gave a clarion call for people to go and support the Mhadei cause and to attend the rally that happened in Amona. He asked people to come. Surprisingly, though officially you cannot link it, but immediately after that he was told that his shows are going to be stalled or blocked or not, or put on hold or whatever. This obviously gave rise to the doubt that this is linked to his support for the people's support for Mhadei. Rajdeep Naik himself openly came out and said that yes, this is the reason. He also did not leave any ambiguity. He very clearly said this is the reason. The state government has not, interestingly, commented on it or denied that, look, this is not the reason. So the state government's silence also is very telling. The reason why we put that story out is that, look, if you react in this kind of a knee-jerk manner and stop artists and other people to do the show, then the charge that is made by the people that voices of dissent are being blocked, that charge becomes stronger. So it is up to the government to try and redeem their image as far as this is concerned.
Okay, then we move on to the next story, and that is dated 27th of January. And this has to do with the Environment Ministry rebuking Goa government for not assessing, evaluating iron ore rejects. Now, the story filed by Herald reporter slams the Forest Department for not making a clear, the ministry slams the Forest Department for not making a clear finding regarding stability of the ore dumps lying on the forest, and questions the Goa Mines Department for failing to adhere to Goa Mineral Policy 2013.
Yeah, so again, firstly, we need to figure out by when will we have a clear dump policy. Secondly, it was imperative on part of all the leaseholders to assess their dumps and figure out the quality of ore lying in the dumps and other minerals. Now, if the government has not done it, it obviously means that they have lapsed as far as this is concerned. And this is one of the many examples of how leaseholders have been given a free hand to do what they did. So it was just a story. I'm not surprised, but the fact that the MOEF has mentioned it is one more thorn in the crown of bad mining policy.
Moving on to our last story for this week, we have this very, very shocking story which has a lot of international implications also, that a French actress has been held hostage, and this is made out to be a property dispute, but there is much more than that.
Yes.
So Herald visited this French actress, and this revealed that the French actress continues to live in darkness with security outdoors. That is one story. And in the follow-up story, the first story, of course, outlined the problem, and the third story that was done in Herald pointed to Marianne writing to the CM, and she says that we are in front of a dangerous gang and everyone is afraid. Please help me. Now, the media also requested the SP crime to respond to this, and they said that the police are not responding to this because this is a civil dispute. Secondly, they said the matter is in court and we are waiting and we are looking at the papers to see whose property it is. So far the police have refused to act, and that is why she was forced to make an urgent plea to the CM for help.
Firstly, before getting into the matter, let's be very clear. It is not at all civil to make a criminal case and identify a criminal case as civil. The basic lack of civility is not being able to understand or deliberately not understanding where there is a criminal case and where there is not. There is nothing civil about somebody's area being surrounded and trespassed. Now, the people who have done it will take the defense of saying the Form 114 and the property papers belong to us. The very fact that this woman has been, this French lady has been living for close to 15 years, from 2009 actually. So 15 years in that particular residence, which one must understand, and this is for all the viewers, very often these foreigners come and they cannot legally buy property, or there are impediments. And this system has happened where they take these long lease. Now, whether it's legal or illegal, that needs to be sorted out. But it's been the norm that they get into a lease agreement with a company or a front company or an individual and pay an amount, and they enjoy all the rights of being there.
Yeah.
You can say that, but the law does not recognize this. Fair enough. But you also have to say, look at the situation with a lot of empathy,
Yeah.
because the original owner, Francisco, he did not have any conflict with this lady.
Yeah.
He allowed this lady to have a peaceful possession of
Till
this
he was
property
alive.
till he was alive. All this happened after he passed away,
Yeah.
and his widow, laying claim to the property in this kind of a manner.
Yeah.
The criminality happens because you cannot go and literally threaten, barge into the home of a 75-year-old. She has complained of loss of laptops and whatever. The point being, let us say that Marianne's complaint also has to be proven correct.
Yeah.
But what need not have to be proven is the clear, visible presence of people who are in a situation where they're intimidating her.
Yeah.
That is visible on the ground.
Yeah.
Any police person can go and see that and understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. The fact that electricity is cut off, there's no water. It's a typical way of evicting a tenant out.
Yeah. And these are basically right to life, actually.
Right to life and liberty issues.
Yeah.
It has to be, but the point is, who will enforce this? The state is mandated to enforce this.
Yeah.
When the state machinery itself is not showing empathy, then that is something that needs to be looked into.
Yeah.
As far as the civil case is concerned, who should have the possession, who should not have the possession, that the documents and the lawyers will decide. The media has no right to figure out whether she is the original owner of the property or not.
Yeah.
But on on human grounds, we feel that humanity has been absolutely violated, and she cannot be kind of trapped in a house because she fears that the moment she leaves, the house is going to be taken over and she'll be left on the roads. Now, all this has to be, again, we are not coming to any conclusion or not saying she is right and the other person is wrong. But what the tragedy here is, and which is worrying, is why has the police not prima facie examined her complaint, registered an FIR, taken statements and come to the conclusion.
Yeah.
If they feel that whatever she is saying is totally wrong, you do a C final and close the case.
Yeah.
But do that process. That's all we are saying.
Okay. So, on that note, we wind up the week that was. We hope that you enjoyed catching up with the headlines of the past week. Keep watching Herald TV.